is 18th June 2026. Today's scholar is Rachna Devgun, giving her second presentation. Rachna, your second presentation is on this time. So we'll know more details about with a twist, I would say, with a twist. So that's wonderful. And all the PhD scholars are doing very well, I would say. And all the participants, I would like to thank each and everyone for their effort, sincerity in attending all the sessions. Thanks a lot. And any questions regarding these particular things are welcome. Yeah, Rachna, over to you. You can start.
Namaskar, everyone. So, with the blessings of my parents and my teachers, and with the well wishes of my colleagues and my friends, I'm going to start my second presentation today. Today's topic is Leucoderma, the astrological insights and its causes. In brief, let me tell you what topics will be covered today. In this presentation, we'll be knowing more in depth about leucoderma. What are its basic causes, the symptoms, how many types of leucodermas are there, and the astrological combinations. And especially using the Virga charts, we are going to analyze a mother-daughter chart, which is going to be very interesting. So let's start. So starting with my introduction, my name is Rachna Devgun, and I am an aspiring student of astrology with a deep interest in understanding the influence of planetary forces on human life. Fascinated by the intricate relationship between celestial bodies and human actions, I began my formal journey by enrolling in a basic course in an affluent institution. This curiosity gradually evolved into a dedicated pursuit of Vedic knowledge. During this journey, I had the opportunity to study under the guidance of Sri Krishna Kansa, whose teachings have significantly enhanced my understanding of astrological principles and their practical applications. Now, something about VISRO, that is Vedic Science Research Organization. The origin of VISRO began in 2024 with a small yet meaningful dream that has steadily blossomed into a respected institution. The organization's vision reflected in its motto, "We make the astrologers." It truly embodies its commitment to nurturing knowledge, research, and professional excellence in the field of astrology. The remarkable growth of VISRO has been made possible through the collective efforts of a dedicated team, visionary leadership, and hardworking co-scholars who continuously contribute to its mission. Being associated with such an institution has provided me with invaluable opportunities for learning, research, and personal growth, inspiring me to contribute meaningfully to the advancement of Vedic sciences. Now with the topic leucoderma. What is leucoderma? Leucoderma is a chronic skin condition which is
sharing అవ్వట్లేదు. No screen sharing.
No screen sharing. 1 second. Now, is it visible?
Yes,
Yes.
Rachna.
Okay.
Yes, now.
Sorry. Should I repeat again?
No, not needed. I just, yes, that's it.
Okay. So what is leucoderma? Leucoderma is a chronic skin condition which is characterized by the loss of pigment resulting in white patches in the various parts of the body. It occurs when melanocytes, the cells responsible for producing the skin color, that is the melanin, they are destroyed or they stop functioning. The patches are typically milky white with sharp margins. They often start small but can grow or merge over time. Leucoderma, it is not contagious as it cannot spread to others. It has no link with cancer. It spreads slowly. The patches enlarge gradually over many years. It occurs rarely pre-puberty, often though it is seen in children also. How does it happen? So the melanin, which is a natural chemical that gives skin its color, hair and the eyes, that and the melanocytes, which are the special cells responsible for creating melanin, they are destroyed. While the breakdown in leucoderma happens when these cells are destroyed or they stop working. So the result is that without melanin, the skin turns a milky white color. While it can affect any part of the body, it commonly appears on the sun-exposed areas like the face, hands, and arms. The body folds, that is the armpits or the groin, or around the body openings, that is mouth, eyes, and nostrils. The patches are usually neither itchy nor painful. The primary change is purely the loss of color. Now we'll see the causes of leucoderma. It has three perspectives. So leucoderma can be understood through modern medicine, Ayurveda, and traditional astrology. The first is the autoimmune attack. The immune system mistakenly attacks the melanocytes, the most accepted cause. Then there is the triggering factors, which is stress, physical trauma, sunburn, chemicals, and hormonal changes, which may initiate or worsen the condition. Then chemical exposure is also one of the points, in which phenols, hydroquinone, rubber chemicals, and certain hair dyes damage the melanocytes. Then there is genetic predisposition. 20 to 30% of the patients have a family history. Multiple genes affecting immunity and pigmentation are involved. Skin injury, cuts, burns, scars, friction, and tattoos. They can also trigger the patches at the injury sites. Sunburn. Severe ultraviolet exposure can trigger or worsen the existing patches. Then hormonal and autoimmune. This is in puberty or in pregnancy or menopause conditions like Hashimoto's or the type 1 diabetes, which may also act as triggers. The common symptoms. So, as we've already discussed, these are the white patches which are clearly defined, often on the face or the hands, elbows, knees, and the body openings. They progressively spread over the time. The periods of stability may be followed by further spread. Symmetrical distribution. The non-segmental vitiligo appears on both sides of the body in similar locations. Hair in the affected areas like the scalp, beard, eyebrows may turn white, and the mucous membranes, that is, depigmentation may occur on the lips, inside the mouth, and the genital mucosa. Usually absent is the pain, the itching, the burning, and the scaling or the fever. If these conditions are present, another condition may coexist. The types of leucoderma. Now, leucoderma is divided into three types. First is the non-segmental, which is the most common type. Symmetrical patches on both sides of the body appear in this case, and it is a progressive course. The second is the segmental type of leucoderma, which affects one side of the body, which often begins early in life and stabilizes after a period. The third is the universal leucoderma, which is one of the rarest forms. More than 80% of the body surface is affected. Then comes the Ayurvedic interpretations and the classical references. For leucoderma, the authentic classical Sanskrit term is Shvitra or Kilasa. The strongest classical references come from Ayurveda. Sushruta Samhita classifies Shvitra under Kushta, the skin disease. Now let me read one of the Sanskrit verses. Shvitram tu trividham gyaneyam vat pit kafat makam. Meaning, Shvitra is of three kinds according to the predominance of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Sushruta considers certain features difficult to cure: the Roma Shvetata, that is the hair becoming white, the Dirgha Kal Stititvam, that is the long duration, and the Janma Jatavam, that is the congenital occurrence. Then comes the Charak Samhita. In Kushta Chikitsa, Charak explains skin diseases arise when doshas vitiate skin and deeper tissues. Trayoho doshaha prakupitaha tvak raktam masam evcha dushyanti tataha kushtham jayate. That is, the aggravated doshas vitiate the skin, blood, and muscle tissues, producing the skin diseases. Shvitra develops from Virudha Ahara, which are the incompatible foods, the improper conduct, the dosha aggravation, and the vitiation of Rakta, Mamsa, and Mada dhatus. This is what Charak Samhita states. The third one is from the Ashtang Hridaya, which largely follows Charaka and the Sushruta, identifying the Virud Ahara, especially milk combined with fish and certain sour foods. Impaired digestion, that is the Agni dysfunction, is again one of the factors. The dosha aggravation as important etiological factors is considered. Leucoderma and vitiligo with the ancient wisdom. In this, we explore how Ayurvedic texts and Sanskrit scholars and Vedic traditions have understood the skin discoloration with clarity, respect, and intellectual honesty. There are certain spiritual interpretations. Some spiritual traditions associate skin diseases with karmic lessons, emotional suppression, self-acceptance challenges, solar energy imbalance. These ideas belong to the spiritual philosophy and not medically proven, and it is not medically proven. There is no verse in Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra that explicitly states that Switra occurs due to the Sun-Rahu combination. The classical Jyotisha texts generally mention Kushta as a skin disease rather than specifically Switra. These are the claims from Brihat Parashar Hora Shastra, which says that Sun and Rahu combination causes leucoderma and should be supported with the exact it is being supported with the exact chapter and the verses. Most such references are later interpretive traditions and not direct classical verses. Now the planets which are involved in this are Sun, which is a karaka for skin, complexion, and vitality. It represents the confidence, health, personal power, soul, and overall vitality. Saturn, which stands for the chronic disease and degenerative condition, represents long-term illness, chronic issues, delays, and age-related problems. Rahu and Ketu, which cause unknown diseases and disorders, represents mysterious, undetected, rare diseases, allergies, toxins, phobias, and the karmic influences. Mercury represents the nervous system. It is known for communication and intellect, and it represents nervous disorders, anxiety, stress, allergies, respiratory issues, skin nerve problems, and mental strain. The main houses involved are the sixth house, which is for disease and ailments. It represents daily health issues, infections, weaknesses, enemies, and service related struggles. The eighth house, it is for sudden events, accidents, surgery, chronic and hidden diseases. It represents sudden illness, accidents, surgeries, life threatening conditions, deep seated or hidden disasters, transformations, and longevity. And the 12th house, which is the house for hospitalization and isolation, for expenses as well as for hidden ailments. It represents hospital stays, isolation, sleep disorders, mental health issues, secret illnesses, and expenses on the treatment, and also spiritual healing. Now, in some of the classics, uh, many the basic knowledge of leucoderma is seen, like from Saravali, which shows afflicted lagna and the planetary combination. Saravali contains references where an afflicted sun, malefics occupying the key houses and affliction to the lagna and the lagna lord, can indicate the diseases affecting the appearance and the skin. Some commentarial traditions specifically connect Saturn and Rahu influence with depigmentation disorders, though this remains an interpretive rather than an explicit classical statement. Saravali is one of the several classical Jyotisha texts that commentators draw upon for disease-related interpretations. Then, from Jatak Parijata, we see the combinations for Kushtha. Jataka Parijat contains the combinations for Kushtha, chronic diseases, and bodily deformities. The traditional interpretations emphasize multiple afflictions working together. First, the malefics in the Lagna. A strong malefic presence in the ascendant or the Lagna is considered significant for the bodily afflictions. The second point is if sun and moon are afflicted. Now, sun and moon in our chart, sun represents the Atma and moon our mind. Both are the luminaries. If both are weakened or aspected by the malefics, they indicate vulnerability in skin and vitality. The sixth house, which is the house for disease, if that is afflicted, then it is associated with skin-relating suffering. Fal Deepika and the karmic framework. Fal Deepika mentions combinations producing kushtha and chronic bodily disorders, especially when the Lagna Lord is weak, the sun is afflicted, and the malefics dominate these houses. Then from Garud Puran and the karmic views. Now, Garud Puran is one of the 18 Mahapuranas. In one section relating to the Preta Kalpa, which focuses on the karma, reincarnation, and and also how past sins manifest as the physical illnesses. In this, several Ayurvedic and Dharma Shastric traditions connect certain diseases, including the skin conditions, with past actions, that is the karma. The Garud Puran contains passages linking various ailments to the karmic consequences. Now, while analyzing our charts, we use Varga tables or Varga charts in medical astrology, as stated in my previous presentation. These charts had been explained elaborately. Now we'll be just foregoing these charts in a basic way. The Varga charts that are being used here today are D1 chart, that is the Lagna chart, D3 chart, the Drekana chart, D6 chart, that is the Shashtamsha, D9, which is Navamsha, and D12, Dwadadamsha. And beyond, they are used in Vedic medical astrology to diagnose the disease, assess the vitality, and understand the karmic health patterns encoded in the birth chart. The D1 chart, that is the Lagna chart, which is also known as the Rashi chart. This is the primary birth chart and the starting point for all the medical analysis. It reveals the native's overall constitution, physical vitality, and the general nature of afflictions. Here, the Lagna and the Lagna Lord. It governs the body, the constitution, and our overall health. In this chart, the 6th and the 8th and the 12th houses, which are the primary houses of disease, chronic illness, and loss, are considered. The planetary strength. In this, we see the planetary strength or the Shadbala of all the planets either placed in these disease inflicting houses, and see the dignity which they determine and how resilient they are. The second is the D3 chart or the Rachna chart. It is seen for the siblings, courage, and strength. The D3 chart is famous in medical astrology for predicting the illness and the bodily vulnerabilities. The key points here are it reveals information about siblings and their well-being. It shows courage, bravery, and mental strength. It indicates results of short journeys, travels, and movements. It helps to assess overall strength and vitality of a person. Now, how do we calculate the D3 chart? We know that each Rashi or each house is of 30 degrees. We divide 30 by 3. So, we have 3 divisions of 10 degrees each. These 3 parts are assigned to Mars, Sun, and Jupiter. Actually, these are the Dharma trine, that is 159, or the Agni Tattva, 159, 1 for Mars, 5 for Sun, and 9 for Jupiter, respectively. The first Rachna, that is from 0 degrees to 10 degrees, is represented by Mars or Aries. Second, by Sun, and third, by Jupiter, that is Sagittarius. Now, the importance of D3 charts again, it shows the nature of the relationships with the siblings. It indicates the bravery and the mental fortitude. Short journeys, which reveals the outcomes of the travels and the movements, and the overall vitality, which assesses the person's physical and the mental strength. So, in medical use, the D3 chart helps to assess courage, resilience, and overall strength, which can support a broader understanding of a person's ability to cope with the challenges. The next is the D6 chart. It signifies disease, enemies, and the health obstacles. Known as Shashtamsha, it is the most critical chart for disease analysis. It reveals the nature, cause, and severity of illnesses, which include chronic, acute, and karmic conditions. So, this Shashtamsha chart is a specific divisional harmonic chart which is obtained by dividing each 30 degree zodiac sign into 6 equal parts of 5 degrees each. It is used to analyze health and the physical well-being, the obstacles, and the potential conflicts. The placement of D1's 6th lord, that is the Lagna chart, what we discussed, the Rashi charts, 6th lord within the D6 chart, it helps to determine whether the health challenges will be chronic or easily curable. So the steps will be identifying the disease type, either it is acute versus chronic or curable versus persistent. Then locating the afflicting body parts based on the sign and the house placement. And then assessing the treatment response, that is the strength of D6 Lagna indicates the recovery potential. Next is the D9 chart, which is known as the Navamsha chart. It indicates dharma, spouse, and constitutional strength. The Navamsha or the D9 chart divides each sign into 9 equal parts of 3 degrees 20 minutes each. In medical astrology, it reveals the true strength of the planets and the native's deeper constitutional blueprint, often more accurate than the D1 or the Rashi chart for the long-term health prognosis. Then the planetary strength. A planet strong in D1 may become weak in D9. That means it may fail to protect the health during its dasha period. So it is a constitutional blueprint as it reveals the inherited traits, longevity factors, and the quality of life in later years. The marital health influence. The spouse health and the impact of marriage on the native's well-being is also seen from this chart. Then comes the D12 chart, which shows, which is read for the parents, the ancestry, and the hereditary diseases. Now, the Dvamsha chart, as it is well known, it divides each sign into 12 equal parts, primarily used to study parents, ancestors, and hereditary patterns. In medical astrology, it is essential for identifying genetically transmitted conditions. For health, the father's health, we see Sun and the 9th house in the D12, which reveals the paternal hereditary risks. For mother's health, we see Moon and the 4th house, which indicate the maternal genetic predispositions. And for karmic health depth, the recurring family illnesses and the karmic patterns across generations are seen from this D12 chart. Then the most important one, that is the 22nd Reckoner, which is used for chronic and incurable diseases. Now, as we have already discussed, the D3 chart, where 30 degrees was divided into 3 parts, that is from 0 to 10 degrees, 10 to 20, and 20 to 30 degrees. So the 22nd Reckoner, we use this D3 composition only. It is found by counting the 22nd division starting from the Lagna. The 22nd Reckoner from the Lagna is considered the most malefic point, and the Lord of the 22nd Reckoner is known as the Kharesh. It is closely tied to health issues, the physical ailments, and sudden accidents. So we see that it is a specialized Reckoner chart, which is used to identify the deeply rooted chronic and potentially incurable diseases. It is consulted when standard divisional charts suggest severe afflictions that resist the treatment. This chart is particularly valuable when malefics occupy the 6th, 8th, or the 12th houses with no benefic relief, signaling conditions requiring long-term management rather than cure. The 64th Navamsha, or the karmic disease in the past life and afflictions which are shown, are seen from this. The 64th Navamsha is an advanced derivative chart calculated from the 8th house of the D9 chart. It is the most esoteric tool in medical astrology, revealing the karmic illnesses rooted in the past life actions. So when to use 64th Navamsha? When there is some chronic illness which is unexplained, or there are recurring conditions or the diseases with no clear medical cause. What it reveals is the soul level health karma, spiritual blockages manifesting as a physical ailments, The remedial focus is that it guides spiritual remedies like chanting of mantras or doing donations or karmic cleansing rituals are done. The next is the most important part of my presentation, that is analyzing a chart for the skin disease. And with, so I'm here presenting the chart of a native. She's a female native. Here, the ascendant is Taurus Lagna, and the Lord is Venus, which is sitting in the 6th house. Now, how to identify whether the native is carrying a skin disease? So first, we are going to analyze the Lagna Lord, and we have to see whether Lagna and Lagna Lord is connected to Mercury, as Mercury is one of the important planets involved. So here in this chart, we see that Mercury is in the 7th house and it is directly aspecting the Lagna. So the first condition is verified, that Lagna or the Lagna is connected to Mercury. The second point is the 6th house trigger, that is the triggering of the disease is from the 6th house or Virgo or the 6th house Lord. If they are connected to Mercury, then it is ascertained for the skin disease. Now, as we see, 6th house here is Libra, and the Libra Lord, that is Venus, is present in the 6th house. Venus again is the Lagna Lord, and it has been aspected by Mercury with the 7th aspect. So the second condition is also confirmed. Now, the third point is Ketu connected to the 6th house or Mercury or the 6th house Lord. As we can see in this chart, Ketu is in the 2nd house in Gemini sign. Gemini, whose Lord is Mercury. So in this way, we can say that Ketu is connected to Mercury. Then also, if we see from the 2nd house to the 6th house, there is a 5-9 relation with the Lagna Lord or the 6th house Lord. So even this point has been confirmed. The next point is on seeing the Lagna or the Lagna Lord connected to the 6th house or the 6th house Lord or Virgo. Now, again, this has been confirmed because Lagna and the Lagna Lord, that is Venus, this has been aspected by Mercury. For no resistance or minimal resistance, no Rahu, Sun or Mars should be connected to Lagna or Lagna Lord. Here, Lagna or the Lagna Lord Venus has a 5-9 relation with Mars. Mars is in the 10th house, Venus in the 6th house. So this shows that there is a resistance over here. Next is Lagna Lord connected to Saturn for long-term disease. Now, as we can see here, Lagna, Taurus Lagna and its Lord Venus, that is the 6th house Lord itself, is sitting with, it is conjoined with Saturn, which is again confirmation for a long-term disease. So the native, as confirmed, has been suffering with the disease, or we can say leucoderma, since very long. Next is, we are going to see in other charts, that is D3, D6, D9, and D12 for confirmation. Now, in D3 chart, it is a Capricorn Lagna. Again, Lagna Lord is Saturn. And here, it is aspected, the Lagna is aspected by Saturn. Though only the Lagna Lord is Saturn. The Venus and Saturn conjunction is there in the 6th house, which reinforces chronicity. Then in this D6 chart, that is the Shashtamsha chart, Aquarius Lagna. Again, a Saturn, the Lagna is again associated with Saturn. And here, this is an Aquarius sign. Its co-ruler is Rahu and is being aspected by Rahu itself. Saturn is also giving its seventh aspect here, confirming the disease. Then in the D9 chart, the Navamsha chart, it's a Cancer ascendant. And Rahu is in the Lagna, which shows hereditary and karmic dimension. Then the 64th Navamsha, here on assessing, we get that the 64th Navamsha is Moon, again in the Aquarius sign, whose lord is Saturn and Rahu, showing deep affliction. In the D12 chart, that is the Dodamsha, it is Pisces Lagna. Here again, as we can see in the 5th house, Saturn and Venus is present in Cancer sign. In this, we see that Moon is in Sagittarius. Now, for ascertaining the similarity of hereditary case, I will explain this in my next slide. First, let me complete with the dasha and the timing. Now, when the native was born, Ketu dasha was predominating that. It started from 1949 to 1956, then continued with Venus Mahadasha from 1956 to 1976. Venus, which is the Lagnesh of the D1 chart, it signifies complexion, and it is conjunct with Saturn in the 6th house, as we have already seen in our D1 chart, right? So the native experienced small patches either in the adolescence or we can say in the early adulthood, as confirmed by the native during Venus Saturn or Venus Rahu periods. As the native does not remember exact age when she got the disease, but confirmation is that she got it in her early adulthood or in her adolescence. The key timing triggers. The disease generally starts in Saturn-Rahu Mahadashas or Antardasha combinations, or Venus-Saturn or Saturn-Venus periods, or the transit of Saturn-Rahu or Venus or Saturn signs. So this again was confirmed by the native that she got the disease in Venus-Saturn period. The third Rakana, that is as seen, is Mars, which is again a malefic Rakana, and it reinforces affliction. Now, again, one of the things was identified that in this chart, like in D1 chart, if we see for the ancestral lineage, for ancestral lineage, now there are two houses. 6th house is for the disease and 9th house is for hereditary house. Now, if we see here, the 6th house is a Libra house whose lord is Venus, and the 9th house is Saturn, Capricorn, sorry, and the lord is Saturn. Both of them are sitting in the 6th house. So the ancestral lineage is confirmed here. Again, there is another method of seeing the ancestral lineage, that is from the D12 chart. Whatever the 6th house chart has, now let me go once again. Now 6th house, we have the lord is Venus, and we say its placement in the D12 chart. Here we see Venus is in the 5th house, that is a Cancer sign. Cancer representing moon, mother. So these are the two ways of confirming that the native derived the disease from her mother. Now, the picture of the native is not shown as uh, uh, considering the privacy on the public platform. As confirmed by the native's body is fully affected by the disease. Now, this confirms a long presence of the disease to the native. After this, I'm going to correlate these factors, whether this disease is being forwarded by the native to her daughter or not. So next is the daughter's chart, D1 chart, which is a Leo ascendant. And here, Venus is exalted in Pisces, Venus, which is for complexion and skin. So this shows that it is generally protective. It enhances the tissue quality and supports the recovery. Now, in this chart, we see that Saturn is in Cancer sign and it is not conjunct with Venus, though they are both retros and are connected in some way, but not directly. So we can say the central disease signature of the mother's chart is absent here. Now, for D12 hereditary chart, we see that in this, this is an Aquarius Lagna chart and Venus is in the Lagna. Now, Aquarius Lagna is ruled by Saturn and Rahu. Now, Saturn again becomes an important factor in the ancestral inheritance. On comparison with the mother's chart, the daughter's chart looks more protected as Venus is not conjunct with Saturn and it is not conjunct with Rahu, or it is in the disease cluster. It is not in the disease cluster. Then Moon and Rahu combination indicates unusual hereditary tendencies. The family patterns carried 3 maternal lines. This is also seen here. On comparison with the mother and the daughter pattern, we see that Venus and Saturn is present in the D1 chart in the mother's case, whereas it is not present in the daughter's case. In D12 again, there is a strong presence of Venus and Saturn connection in the mother's chart, and it is absent in the daughter's chart. Then there is an exalted Venus in the daughter's chart, which is not that in the mother's chart. There is an exalted moon in the daughter's chart, which is not there in the mother's chart. The hereditary skin signature is strong in the mother's chart and weak in the daughter's chart. The protective factors are moderate in mother's chart, but strong in the daughter's chart. So the conclusion is, like, if I go back to the daughter's D1 chart, so here the 6th house is Capricorn and its lord is Saturn. And Saturn is in the 12th house, which is, if we see that it is a retro planet and we consider it from the 11th, then also here we don't have connection, but here Saturn is directly aspecting Capricorn. Now, from the 9th house, which is an Aries Rashi, and its lord is Mars. Mars and Saturn connection is not direct here, although Mars is present in Aquarius sign, but not directly associated with it. So first case is confirmed that she is not carrying her mother's hereditary problem. Now from the second one, if we see where Moon is in Taurus. So again, it is not connected to Cancer, which we consider from the Kala Purusha Kundli, that the 4th house is mother's house, and if Moon is associated with it, then again it is a hereditary confirmation. So with these two observations, we see that there is a low karma effect here, and till date, the daughter is safe and is not carrying the disease from her mother. So this is a small way of finding out the hereditary combinations. And it is very interesting to know how the lineage has been, in case of the skin disease, has been carried forward. Though remedies uh, in this case don't work much if the uh, disease is persistent, but still there are some remedies given, which we will be discussing in my next presentation. Thank you so much for listening. Now I'll be returning back to Sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rachna. So you have kept some more part pending for the next this thing remedies. So before we get any more questions, sir, feedback from you.
Yes, good one. So I'm waiting for the remedies actually. So definitely I'll look into the remedies.
Under your guidance, sir.
Yeah, definitely. And yes, practically we have some remedies, so definitely we'll give it to the public. So definitely it is a karmic. So prevention, when you see the combination, there will be a prevention. So and after there is a curing. So definitely Rachana will be giving that one. I want to hear from Rachana rather than me delivering to that one. I want to hear from Rachana. It's very good presentation, neat and clean.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much,
you.
sir. And I would request everyone, if you have any charts of the natives who are suffering from this skin disease, please share their charts. Note down their date, time, and place of birth. That would be very helpful. Thank you very much.
And adding to that one, if photograph is available, we will not disclose anywhere photograph of the face and everything will not disclose, so that it will be helpful for her to give it if possible, because it will be very helpful for them to the research scholars where exactly it is been, which part has been affected. So definitely that will be very helpful for them. Yes. Yeah. Mukesh, can you switch on the camera, sir? Mukesh ji, can you switch on the camera? I guess Mukesh is not available. Yes, Renu Sharma ji. रेणु शर्मा बोलिए. Okay, ठीक है. So any doubts, any questions? Yeah, D Nagaminakshi.
నమస్కారం గురుగారు.
Namaskar.
దీంట్లో పైన చర్మం చీము, మంట, నొప్పి, దురద, జ్వరం ఇటువంటివి ఏవి లేకపోయినా కూడా ఇది ఒక వ్యాధిగా కన్సిడర్ చేయబడుతుందా, లేకపోతే లోపల ఉన్న ఏదైనా ఒక వ్యాధికి పైన కనిపించే లక్షణంగా తీసుకోవచ్చా?
ఓకే, మీరు చెప్తుంది ఏంటంటే ఇది ఒక కార్మిక్ డిసీజ్ అండి, మీకు అర్థమైంది కదా. రచన బెటర్ యూ ఆన్సర్ ఇట్. సో కెన్ అర్చన కెన్ ట్రాన్స్లేట్ ద థింగ్స్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్?
Yeah. So she's asking like if there is no fever and also no wounds, etc. Even then we consider this as a disease or just a superficial thing can be considered or not? That's a question.
This is a disease because some small patches are appearing, though there is no fever or pain. But still, you can see the patches on the skin. They are visible. So it is a disease.
సో నాగమీనాక్షి గారు, ఇది నార్మల్ గా మనం ఇవన్నీ లేకున్నా కూడాను ఓన్లీ ప్యాచ్ కూడా మనం డిసీజ్ కింద తీసుకుంటామండి. Because there is a discoloration of the skin, we take that as a disease also.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's answered.
Yeah,
Surajji?
melanocytes are destroyed here.
Yeah. Suraj Agarwal ji?
मेरा सभी को प्रणाम.
नमस्कार मैम.
क्षमा करना, मेरे पास इस समय में लाइट नहीं है, करंट नहीं है हमारे घर में, फिर भी गनीमत टैप चल रहा है, इस कारण मैं आपका जो पूरा कार्यक्रम देख पाई और मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि आपने बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से इसका वर्णन किया. खास कर कि हेरिडिटरी कैसे क्या इसके अंतर्गत इन्वॉल्व होती है. आपने मदर को लेकर काफी अच्छा किया, लेकिन मैं समझती हूँ कि कई बार ये डिसीज पैटर्नल की ओर से ज्यादा अच्छा आता है, तो पैटर्नल को लेकर शायद आपने कम किया है.
मैम अभी जो हमने एग्जाम्पल कंसिडर किया था वो मदर डॉटर का था, इसलिए उसके ऊपर एम्फोसाइज ज्यादा किया था। पैटर्नल के लिए भी उसी तरह से, जिस तरह से मदर के लिए हम मून को देखते हैं, उसी तरह से पैटर्नल के लिए हम सन को देखेंगे, लियो साइन और सन।
मैंने जो दोनों चार्ट्स आपको भेजे हैं वो पैटर्नल से कनेक्टेड है मैडम।
ओके मैम, मैं आपको उसका एनालाइज करके सेंड करूंगी।
लेकिन आपने बहुत ही सुंदर तरीके से किया, बहुत बहुत आपका धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू
थैंक
मैम, आप लोगों की सपोर्ट से ही सब कुछ होता है पॉसिबल।
मुझे बहुत दिक्कत हो रही है क्योंकि करंट नहीं है बिल्कुल इस समय, गर्मी के मारे भी हालत खराब हो रही है और लाइट भी नहीं है। खैर, आपका कार्यक्रम इतना अच्छा था कि बस।
Yeah,
थैंक यू।
that was nice, Surajji. Thank you so much. And Peri Venkat Lakshmi Garu.
Yeah, Rachna, it was really very good presentation.
थैंक यू
But
मैम।
I need to understand because all those things. But I understood it. It's one of I know one lady who has got after menopause. So
ओके
at the age of say after 60, most probably after 60. Now she's I think 75 or so. Slowly a patch has developed and it has spread to the whole body and looks like an albino. Of course, hair is always 60. It's gray, and she doesn't have any itching or anything. But in her hereditary, I found one of her cousins, male cousin, had some patches too, which was developed, but it was not spreading. It was so wherever he got that was constant, and it was not spreading. These ladies, it was spreading. I found after listening to you, I found it is from paternal side. Maybe there's a paternal cousin. So that was not spreading for him. So this lady, it was totally body was totally there. So hereditary, that also will be the pattern will not be the same.
Yes, ma'am. And secondly, she got it after menopause. That means,
Menopause.
as we have already studied, that the timing of the event matters. So she must be facing some Saturn Dasha, Mahadasha, or Rahu, which are the main causes. Then undergoing Sade Sati, like the T1, what Sir explains to us. So these factors also vary. So the triggers will be there. And now there must be an resistance power there. Her chart must, the sixth house or the eighth house must be associated with the Mars, Sun, or Rahu.
I know she was born in Amavasya, but only thing is I do not know the date and all.
Okay.
I'll try to find out. But I know she has got after menopause. And after 60 only, not even menopause. 60.
It does
yes.
not, it does not, make sure that it will happen in the early age only or in the mid age. It can happen, if it is there in the chart, it will happen only when the right time comes.
Oh.
So the timing of the event matters.
Okay, that's very nice. If I can find out the date, I'll let you know. Okay. Thank you, ma. That's very.
Thank you, Venkat Lakshmi Garu. Yeah, Prasad Garu. Please.
नमस्कार अंडे।
नमस्कार।
रचना मैम, बहुत अच्छा आपने प्रेजेंटेशन किया, वेरी ग्रेट क्लैरिटी।
थैंक यू सर।
जो आप डेटा मांग रहे हैं, इज इट ओनली फॉर विटिलिगो और एक्जिमा की चार्ट्स चलेंगे
Specifically for
आपके लिए?
leukoderma, sir. Specifically
ओके,
for leukoderma, because my
स्पेसिफिक।
research topic is leukoderma.
ओके ओके ओके, देन आई अंडरस्टैंड। एंड आपने शुरुआत में एक खास चीज बताई थी, यू यू हैव एक्सप्लेन समथिंग वेरी ब्यूटिफुली, दैट केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशंस एंड चेंजेस कैन बी वन ऑफ द
Reasons.
criteria and
Yes, sir.
cause.
Yes, sir.
If it is chemical changes, I can suggest maybe you can work on it. Intestine and especially small intestine problems can represent themselves as skin disease.
Okay.
Now, this, I mean, in my humble opinion, 10th house से आपको दिखेगा। 10th
Okay.
house, and Rahu, of course. Rahu you have already taken. So 10th house is this hidden house which will talk about intestinal problem. Like somebody, some people are there who eat well, nutritious food and rich food, but they cannot absorb the vitamins. Now that's
Okay.
because of the 10th house. I may be corrected if I'm wrong. Please use this input, and I think it'll turn out to be a beautiful research. Thank you
Sure,
very
sir.
much. Wonderfully, very, very well done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Prasad ji. And that was a wonderful suggestion to Rachna. Yeah, Rachna. So if no one is having any questions, we can close the session. Just to remind you, tomorrow we have another session from Venkat Lakshmi ji on marriage analysis. So kindly stay tuned tomorrow from 4 to 5:30 on the same topic of marriage analysis. Thank you, Rachna. That's a
Thank
wonderful.
you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone.